What's up, guys? Welcome to the post-E3 edition of the J14 Gamecast, also known as Episode 9, also known as the Skype podcast.
Also known as how many episodes all in one weekend, because we haven't been posting.
Triple podcast
Triple
weekend.
podcast.
Yeah.
We get so many podcasts.
Brendan's on Skype.
What's up?
He's right there. You can't see him that well, but it's good enough.
Guys,
What's that?
I'm digitized.
I don't get that reference.
Neither do I. I just made it up.
Oh, okay. On that note,
Yeah, I'm sorry.
that's all right. Well, for the pre-E3, we kind of ran through each of the big three companies and talked about what we wanted to see from them, and now they've played all their cards out on the table.
Yeah.
But not really, because they still have some cards, like The Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Close to
Nintendo. I'll get into that when
Okay.
we talk about Nintendo, but
So we can start with Microsoft, I guess.
I think Microsoft had a.
I was gonna ask Brendan.
Oh yeah, Brendan. Our
No. Okay.
Yeah, Brendan.
Brendan, our resident
Yeah.
Xbox lover.
Our guest,
Yes.
our honor.
Yes.
How did you think their conference went?
Well, I think it definitely came as a surprise to some people that they were expecting. Most people were expecting Halo 5. We talked about that in our pre-podcast or pre-3 podcast. There was rumors of a Halo 2 Anniversary Edition going into this. And Microsoft just kind of hit it out of the park with saying that they're giving an all-in-one Halo 1 through 4 Remastered Edition
That was
for
a,
Xbox One.
Yeah, I mean, it leaked early. We knew about it, but it's still, that was a...
It wasn't really confirmed before E3, but it was like we knew it was happening.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big one.
Yeah, that was definitely... Which is good. It's I mean, Halo is their benchmark, and you can't go wrong with Halo, and it'll be good for pushing new Xbox consoles. As for when Halo 5 does come out. So,
And people that maybe...
Well, it's the same
all
thing
that.
as what The Last of Us is going to do for people who didn't have the PS4.
Yeah, and the same thing with the Xbox One, right? There's going to be people with an Xbox One, either younger kids, like maybe that are 15 and never played Halo 1 when it was out,
Yeah.
or people that just never had an Xbox or 360, and Xbox One's their first Xbox console, gets them caught up on the story. So, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
So, I know I'm excited for that. I'll be buying an Xbox. I don't care. Halo.
Yeah, Halo, bah.
Halo Ball.
Sean?
You know what? Pleasantly surprised. Last E3, kind of Microsoft kind of dropped the ball, and then that was right when they dropped the ball, I kind of decided I'm not going to buy it off the bat, because I was going to. I couldn't see myself doing it, and then now they're announcing all this great stuff. They have other stuff on the back burner, obviously, that they're going to show us later on. I mean, I might not pick it up right away, but it's definitely, I'm leaning more towards it than I was a year ago.
Yeah, I'm much in the same boat. Their conference was definitely really good. Like, it was just games from front to back.
Which is what they're going to do.
The problem I had, which wasn't limited to Microsoft, it was a lot from a lot of games and companies this year, was the CG trailer.
Yeah.
And I think the CG trailer is fine for a franchise that you already know. Like for Halo 5 last year, we got that teaser where he was in the desert or whatever.
Yeah.
That's fine, because you know what a Halo game is, more or less, right? It's just getting you excited about the new, maybe where the story's going and the new premise. But for something like Scalebound, which was Platinum's new game that they showed, it's just a CG trailer of some guy kind of fighting a bunch of monsters. It doesn't, like, I don't, you know what I mean? I want to get excited about it. I'm sure it'll be a good game, because it's Platinum. That's an Xbox exclusive, so...
Don't they have another exclusive with Xbox?
They're
remaking Phantom Dust, yeah.
Is that Platinum as well?
I think that's Platinum.
No, it's not.
Platinum.
Oh, my bad.
It's a different one, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, but same with Phantom Dust. I didn't play the original one, and that was also a CG. So it's like... It's hard for me to get excited about these games, especially a new IP, when all you have is a CG trailer that doesn't
Yeah.
it just I have no idea what the game is, so I can't really get that excited about it.
Now, would you say that would be the same for Bloodborne?
Not so much, because it's advertised and people know that it's essentially a spiritual successor to
They've
the
announced
Souls.
it as the spiritual
Yeah.
successor. So.
And they've talked about it, so it's...
Okay.
I mean, we have the leaked gameplay trailer, but you know it's basically...
I just wanted to get your
Okay.
point of view on that, because a lot of people might not know when they look at that
Yeah.
trailer. So it's...
And if they came out and said, like, Scalebound is, like, some sort of successor to something Platinum did before, then that's a bit different. But
we have no inkling of.
But it's a personal thing, right? Like, Bloodborne, I know what it's going to be, but maybe someone else watching that conference saw the CG trailer and it did nothing for them, because they're like, I don't know what this game's about.
Look up Demon Souls, Dark Souls, anything with the word Souls at the end of it.
Well, I think Jeff has no idea about. Oh, yeah, I said it.
What did you say? I actually didn't hear that.
All things Jeff doesn't know about.
Oh.
Sad face.
I beat Demon Souls.
And end call.
Good run.
Yeah, I mean, Sunset Overdrive is still my number one.
Yeah.
I mean, the Master Chief Collection is huge too, but that's... I'm really expecting big things from that. I
wanted to see a little more exclusives from Xbox, like some more. I was surprised that they didn't show any Gears of War.
Yeah, that's...
Not so much.
Well, Judgment wasn't that well received.
No, but I think they know that, and they're gonna go back. I agree with Brendan. Like, there was exclusives like Phantom Dust, but again, that and Scalebound, it's like there wasn't those big name exclusives that we kind of know other than Crackdown, but that's still a niche.
Yeah,
that was kind of
I wasn't
a
even
weird
excited
ending.
about it.
Yeah,
it was just like Crackdown, the game that only sold well because you had the beta code for Halo Reach.
And then the Fable game, which according to the previews I've read on IGN, it's not really a Fable game. It's just the name. And like John and I were watching that, and it just nothing about it really. It looked nice enough, but nothing looked interesting. It just looked like a boring.
I remember when they announced that last year, and I'd played all the Fable games.
Yeah,
and it's like I knew right away this is not going to be a Fable game. It couldn't be. Because those are about the story and building the character, and now you're in a group of people.
Yeah.
Like dungeon crawling.
And then we got the Conquer tease.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
Where Conquer came out, or they had the demo for Project Spark, and then Conquer came out and knocked down the Project Spark thing. You're like, oh shit, it's a Conquer game. And he's just a playable... Like, that would be a huge exclusive, like another Conquer game.
Did they play you?
They played me like a damn fiddle.
Never get tired of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, sorry, go on, Brendan. I agree with what you said.
Yeah, or it's even like what we talked about. Like, I still think a game like Perfect Dark or something, they have to come out and remake it properly, or make like a new sequel, or I don't see how it would be hard to make a prequel to that game. And just something like that would just like that would be like I'm buying an Xbox for that, because as much as everyone loves Halo and as much as I love Halo, I mean, it's been around for 3 generations of Xboxes now. Right? Much the same way as Uncharted and a couple of the others, right? It's like God of War, and those games are kind of on the decline now. Like Uncharted 4 is kind of like going to be the last Uncharted game.
Yeah.
Mass Effect is kind of done. So you're like,
Well, I think part of it is I know Microsoft took a lot of flack for riding their franchises, so I respect that they're trying to make new things. But like we just talked about. A new IP is really good, but it's hard to really get people jazzed about that new IP. Like that's where a gameplay demo comes in.
Yeah, you
right?
show off something.
That's why,
piece of it.
Kojima's showing a 30-minute gameplay demo.
Of the Phantom Pain.
Of the Phantom Pain, because it's like when we played Ground Zeroes, I think anyone who's played a Metal Gear game was like, "Holy shit." Because it's now so realistic. It's like no longer does the person have a cone of vision. Yeah. It's like if they see you, they go, "Hey, he's like 5 miles away. I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah. But yeah, where was I going with that? Yeah, a gameplay demo would have been awesome. Like you talk about Metal Gear, that demo at the E3, whichever one, the first one they showed Metal Gear Solid 2 at. That trailer and gameplay demo, it just like that was like the biggest shit
so
ever.
awesome.
It blew everyone's mind.
Him blowing up glass, the fruit.
Yeah, like all destroying the fruit and stuff
He
in the
was in
kitchen
that,
and shooting the fire extinguishers.
pantry.
Yeah, the pantry.
Firefight in the pantry. I was like, oh my god, I can't wait to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so lame.
Yeah, so like if Scalebound is kind of like maybe like Vanquish that Platinum did.
Yeah.
But, maybe a different setting. That was kind of futuristic. But it's similar, like really fast-paced, like fighting. Like that's a demo would have been awesome because you'd see this awesome sword fighting and like you'd be super excited about
Platinum's really good at that.
Yeah.
Just look at Bayonetta.
Yeah, and Bayonetta. Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, no, I definitely want an Xbox now. I just need, like you said, right now I need, I think, a few more reasons. I very well might just cave.
You might
But
just cave.
yeah, it's a lot of money, right?
Yeah. Well, that's like when you showed me. If you haven't looked at what's coming out in October, go take a look. There's a lot of games coming out in October.
And it's not a knock against Microsoft. Like, they have just as much or more exclusive this year than Sony does. The thing is, when you already own a next-gen console, all of a sudden you have all those third-party games. I can already play them on my PS4. So to get an Xbox One, for me to buy that, it basically needs to be the exclusives that are going to sway me.
Yeah.
Which is a fair argument. A lot of the big games coming out this year are games like Destiny, Watch Dogs, Advanced Warfare, Battlefield Hardline.
Yeah.
All multi-platform, right? So,
Yeah. And that's the other thing is like a lot of the Xbox conference was multi-platform or third-party games.
Yeah.
So lots of people watching that are like, well, that's great, but
I can just play
What
that
are you
over
doing?
here.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Played on my Wii U.
What
Wait.
was, the way I was thinking of how Sony has such good IPs and stuff, and The Last of Us is a good example, and we'll talk about that in a sec because of the PS4 edition, but that's still made by Naughty Dog. Sony kind of approached it like, well, let's take our AAA developers and just have them make something new. And it's funny because at the time I thought, oh, well, you know what, that's going to be Bungie's ambition, and the way it ended up turning out, which is cool that they made Destiny, but it just didn't end up being Xbox exclusive.
Yeah, exactly. They, I don't know if they had the opportunity, but it would have been smart of them to lock up Bungie. Can you imagine if Destiny was an
they
Xbox
locked up Bungie
exclusive?
for a while, and then it was just...
No, I mean to buy them, so they
Oh,
own them.
fair enough, yeah.
Yeah. They have the money to do it, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, but see, just the way it worked out, that's not even what Bungie wanted, right?
Yeah.
Now look,
They had already
I
been
mean,
in that
just-
situation, so...
they make Halo, but now they're always going to be a part of Microsoft, right? So,
And yeah, it's cool that you bring that up because I was, like you said, Naughty Dog made Uncharted, and then they, went to Sony and said, "Hey, we have this cool idea for another game we want to make," and they're like, "Okay, yeah," and it turned out to be one of the best games ever. It would be cool to see what the team behind Gears of War could do.
The Judgment
that's
Team?
another thing I was thinking of, right? It was just, some of the other AAA developers like Gearbox and have them do something else and just and see what they come up with.
Yeah.
Well, Gearbox is not a great example.
They don't do
Well,
exclusives.
Or,
right?
No,
not
just-
Gearbox.
their last
Gearbox-
game outside of Borderlands was Duke Nukem.
Yeah. What's that, Brendan?
I can't remember who made Gears of War now.
It was Epic, and then I don't know who did Judgment. It was a different
It was
studio.
a different studio, yeah.
Oh, that's right, Epic Games. That's right. I'm
Yeah.
thinking.
Yeah. I guess Microsoft's challenge right now is they don't have a lot of first-party studios.
But it's been like that for a while.
Yeah.
And I mean, now they have Rare, or what's left of Rare.
Not really much.
Not really much, but they could probably try something first party that's not Connect based, or
Yeah.
rebuild that team
Yeah.
and do that. But yeah, they don't have a lot of first party, and that's the big issue, and that's why like Naughty Dog's been around with PlayStation since the PS1.
Yeah.
So it's like, of course, they're gonna give an idea and be like, yeah, sure, we'll take a risk on that. Turns out to be a great game.
Yeah.
So I think Microsoft just needs more first party studios.
I mean, is Remedy first party? Because they make Xbox and PC games.
I don't think,
Think so.
they're first party.
Or are they like Quantic Dream is for Sony, where
Yeah.
they're not owned, but
They're not owned, but they only make for.
Oh, okay,
I mean, because they made developed games for PS2, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Microsoft should lock them up because those guys make awesome games.
They made the first
If
Max
someone's
Payne.
listening out somewhere from Microsoft,
Please buy all the studios.
We're buying Sony today.
Oh my god.
Well,
John?
John?
Capcom just got on the... Capcom... This is a little bit of news. I'm going to throw this in here since we're talking about being bought out.
Sure.
For the last couple of years, Capcom has had a clause saying that you could not buy the maximum amount of shares that would involve buying out the company.
Right.
They've done this for a couple of years where they're saying, you can't do this, you can't do this. Yesterday, I think it was, they said, hey, we got rid of that. So if you want to buy a bunch of Capcom shares, you could totally buy out our company.
Oh, wow.
Which is kind of like a, wow. Get Mega Man. Get them to start making Mega Man.
Yeah, who would buy them out?
Yeah. John, you watched the Microsoft conference with me?
Yep,
Good talk?
it's good.
Yeah.
No, it was
podcast.
what?
No, continue.
Yeah, so no, they delivered on their promise. They were, like you said, they delivered game trailer after trailer after trailer, demonstrating that they're there for the gamers. They want to show their loyalty. Again, yeah, it was good that they showed off games, but CG trailers didn't really excite me as much. Fable was looking arcadey and stuff. It probably would appeal more to the kids, and that might be the next biggest thing for them. But for us, growing old and weary, we want something a bit dark and gritty, right?
As I'm playing Wind Waker, before
that's,
this podcast.
That's pretty gritty. Gritty. I'm Nick.
Yeah.
No, I was really expecting from the rumors that they were going to have a big third party there. I was expecting them to have Mass Effect. What if they announced Mass Effect come out?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think now that
unbelievable.
BioWare is with EA, I don't think you'll see them side on one console. EA is
EA did EA publish Titanfall?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Because
Yeah,
Respawn developed it, but
Yeah.
EA published it.
And that's why you don't see it on just Xbox. You see it on the PC. Because EA was there like, we can get way more on the PC.
Yeah, exactly. It goes back to that. They should have bought them right
Yeah.
there and then kind of thing. But they didn't. So, yeah. Yeah, no, it was a good conference. They were really solid. There were some really awkward moments. Like a guy showing off. We're getting hype, trying to get us hyped for Phantom Dust.
Oh, yeah.
He came in saying, I love E3.
And it was like dead silence.
Yeah, so there was moments like that. And
Yeah, like even the IGN guys, they were saying they had to look up what Phantom Dust was because they didn't.
Yeah, we had no idea.
Yeah.
He hyped it up too much. And we're like, what is this game?
That's too bad.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be a card game-based game. No, it
Don't
was
think that.
really solid. Yeah, the tease about Conquer was, a knife in the chest kind
Yeah.
of thing. And then one thing about that is like, I thought that was like a Nintendo IP, but
Conquer?
Conquer was made first for the N64?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because Conquer's
'Cause it was
Bad
rare.
Fur Day, right?
No,
Yeah.
there's one before that. He was
Oh,
also
okay.
in Diddy Kong Racing. That's
Yeah.
where I got
Yeah,
that from.
okay.
which I did. So, but I thought, for some reason, I thought it was like a Nintendo.
Bad Bird, it was made by Rare, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when Rare was in bed with Nintendo, Conquer came from that.
Yeah, because there was one on the N64,
Yeah.
which was a big deal because that was kind of a kid-friendly platform and that was a very mature game.
It was a kid game. The next game they put out is just the most filthiest game of
Yeah.
that time
Which
period.
was so awesome.
So it was just kind of like,
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll move on to Sony then.
Yep.
We'll get the bad out of the way.
That,
Their conference was longer than anyone else's. It was almost 2 hours,
Yeah, it was surprising.
and half hour of it was garbage.
Yeah,
garbage, but it's Sony sticking to the whole, yes,
It's-
we're here for the gaming,
Yeah.
but we have a lot of media and a lot of things we want to talk about. The announcement with Disney partnering with them for certain things.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, it's something they do pretty much every year. I think they skipped it last year because there was so much backlash over Microsoft at their Xbox reveal. It was like TV sports. And I think Sony recognized that, so they didn't talk about media at all. But then this year they kind of went back to what they always talk about stats. They say we sold this many of this console and this many users have done this, and we've got all these apps coming, and then they're the Powers.
Powers is actually a really good series.
That's what I hear, but I read an interesting rumor that there maybe was a big game that they were going to demo and was going to take up 10 or 15 minutes of the conference. Some people are saying that it got pulled at the last second. It could have either been the Sony Santa Monica IP that got canceled, the Battlestar Galactica writer one.
Right.
But there was something that was supposed to fill that, and they had to kind of at the last minute. Because it just seemed like they were unprepared. Like, all they had was concept art for Powers. Like, when you talk about it for 15 minutes, you expect you'd see like a trailer for the show or something.
Even when you say that, it was like, it's going to be first episode's out in like December, and I'm like, time out. You're doing auditions now, and it's just like
you're going to film it, produce it, and release it in like 5 or 6 months.
Yeah, it was kind of like a. So I think you're right about that. It felt a little bit rushed. So
I would say. Yeah, like I agree that this is the typical thing, but I mean they did do it last year. I remember it, but they did it in a good way that they broke it up into segments. They talked about it a little bit, and then they showed a couple trailers, and they came back.
And last year they had the 3-peat gut punch of by the way, there's no DRM.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, you can play your games on any console. Oh, and by the way, it's $3.99.
Mic drop.
Yeah. They didn't have that this year.
No, that too. But I mean, like they definitely broke it up a bit better last year in terms of that.
It was better paced last year. Yeah, this year there was that really sagging middle section.
Chunk. Yeah,
but that's typical for a Sony conference, though. For E3,
it is.
We've been saying, last year it was all about the games. There was still that portion where it was very a very big lull.
Yeah,
and then it picks up, and then the year before that, Wonder Book.
Never forget.
I'm trying
there's
to.
always that PlayStation lull. So when it came up, I was like, okay, I can go get a coffee or something.
Yeah.
No, but I thought by what was demonstrated last year, they would have done kind of similar style. Like they just right out of the gate, they just showed off trailers.
Thank God they saved it at the end.
Yeah, I was thankful for the last bit at the end.
Yeah,
that was good.
I guess John, do you want to elaborate then? So we got rid of the middle part.
Thank God.
Yeah. You didn't watch the conference, did you, Brendan?
I caught bits of it.
Okay. What did you...
I was just going to say how that it's a theme at every E3 that the first year after the console's released tends to be typically weak and unexciting. Not to a big degree, but just because of the nature of it, we've been saying that, the past 6 months have been quiet for both consoles.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. I find that, that year is still developers still figuring shit out. Ideas are still being made and stuff. So, both conferences were solid, but it wasn't like earth shattering.
I think it's
last year.
I think it's partly because. Both, every company kind of wants that big killer game to sell their console at launch. When you have a brand new console, you need to give people a reason to buy it.
Yeah.
So it's a tough act to balance. You want Forza and Halo and all that, or Killzone or Uncharted. You want all that stuff at launch for your console, but you can't put everything out at launch because then all those developers have to make a new game, which takes 3 years.
Yeah.
If you put everything out at launch, it's going to be 3 years before you get a new game. You need to kind of stagger them.
Exactly.
And I think what we saw was, maybe companies are a little bit behind in their development. These consoles maybe were released a bit too early, so they put out what they had at launch. We have Infamous, Killzone, and the Microsoft has Forza, Killer Instinct, and Dead Rising.
Infamous has been made or been trying to be made for a while, though.
Yeah.
So it's not like, okay, we got to rush to get this out.
No, I didn't mean they were rushed. I just mean they had games that they could have maybe held off for another year, but they had to basically ship them because you need something to give people. But now we're at the stage where you kind of have this year where things kind of in the middle of development or close to the end, but not quite
Except for
ready.
October.
Yeah.
God, that's a bad month.
So 2015 is going to be fucking awesome.
Plus, with all the games that are being delayed to 2015.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
I do remember that some of these games probably aren't optimized for the new generation of consoles, or even maybe they weren't even, didn't begin with the intention of next gen in mind. So then, when you get a couple years into a generation or to a next gen's life cycle, that's when you start to get games like, like The Last of Us, or whatever, that just they were like, okay, this is the platform we have now, and this is what we're going to make this game for.
Yeah.
Not have this idea, but shit, the Sony or Microsoft wanted for the next console, and
So that happens at the beginning of every new console life.
Yeah. Last gen needs to die, though.
Well, I think the problem is there's such a huge install base with the last gen, right?
Well, you got 80 million 360s and 80 million PS3s. You got 160 million people.
Versus what?
With those old
12 million?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't count the Wii U.
Not gonna lie, at this point, Nintendo doesn't count the Wii.
But it's clear cut which developers want to try to develop for to sell to the most, right?
I think so, yeah. No, but I think outside of that 10-minute lull for the business side, I think Sony had a good conference. It wasn't like last year where it was just hammering out the games, but I mean, they announced games that they needed to announce, and they also spent a good portion of time on indies, which I still think is a pretty big thing for Sony, especially with PlayStation Plus. So, I mean,
Well, yeah, the thing is they just had more like holy shit moments for me.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
They weren't necessarily Sony exclusive, but their conference itself, like I went through Microsoft's and everything. The Halo thing would have been a holy shit moment for me if it hadn't leaked.
yeah.
Otherwise, it was just like exciting.
The
But
trailer was really good, though.
Oh, it
hadn't
was.
seen the trailer. So.
at Sony's conference, I was like, holy shit, Little Big Planet 3, because I'm a big fan of that franchise.
yeah,
And then there was like the GTA 5 is coming to next gen.
out of left field.
I was just like, oh my god, yeah,
I will say this right now. We were talking about this earlier today.
yeah.
Or I made a joke about it. Heists, Brendan. Heists are not coming to current gen. That is my prediction.
They are absolutely.
I don't think so.
They fucking advertised it in their trailer for the game.
I think-
and they've said repeatedly that it's coming. There's no way they would piss people off.
I think they've been cutting themselves a little short because they've been pushing out free content all this time. They've been trying to make this PS4 version. I think Heist will be next gen only or current gen only.
Current? Okay. I think that the heists are taking a long time because they were working on the next gen version, but they hadn't announced it, so they couldn't tell people that our resources, we don't have very many people that can work on this because they're busy working on next gen. I have no doubt that they will be on all versions of the game.
Let me just say, I hope I'm wrong,
Yeah. Okay.
but
That's what you think.
that's what I think is going to happen.
There's no way, because the game itself was designed for Xbox 360 and PS3, right? It really wouldn't make any sense to do it any other way. Maybe if online was not available for some reason on the current gen or past gen, but I'm with Jeff on that. I'm pretty confident that it's going to be on both.
Oh, and I want that to be the case, don't get me wrong. But
it makes sense why that they're late. I wish Rockstar was more open with that. Now, I wouldn't say that was a holy shit moment for me, because that also had been leaked. That was a pretty, it was not shocking to hear it was going to be on PS3, PC, and Xbox One.
Well, it hadn't been leaked for me, which is why it was... people had been saying they want it, and there was rumors about it.
yeah,
I don't know. I kind of just,
Yeah.
you just knew
wiped it out of
of
my brain. No, I just kind of wiped it out for some reason. I didn't really expect it because it was such a massive game already. It seemed like a huge undertaking with problems with online
Fair enough.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
And that-
because they've done it in the past. They did it with GTA 4 on PC, right? So it just made sense for them to do it again.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
But it just seemed to take a bit. It seemed like it just took a bit longer to do a lot of things that they wanted to do.
They were ambitious.
So
All the improvements look great. But yeah, no, they did a really good job with the upgrade. Like it looks totally different.
It does. I saw the video
Yeah.
of the comparison, and it's amazing looking.
To draw a comment from Hideo Kojima
How he's depressed with it?
is pretty impressive. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read
Rockstar.
that. I'll read in a bit more about that.
well,
He talked about it when it came out last year as well.
yeah, when he saw the first trailer.
Yeah.
I want to see what he says about it. So, anyways.
But yeah, no, like that. The Batman trailer was really, really good.
Yeah.
Oh, that was even we knew that was coming out.
Yeah.
That looked just amazing. The
And-
demo they showed off was like, whoa.
Well, I hadn't seen gameplay
That was
For
all
what?
game.
for Arkham Knight.
That was
Did you see the trailer?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
That
why I was like, oh my god, that's awesome.
Oh, yeah.
that,
was the
they
first-
hadn't shown gameplay before. That was the
Oh.
first time they showed
Yeah.
gameplay. Yeah.
Yeah, they all showed CG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like CD.
They had shown some in-game stuff for the Batmobile, but they didn't show actual.
Yeah, they're like, watch the E3 press conference.
Yeah, when the Batmobile turns into the Bat
Oh.
tank.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god.
Which I kind of forgot because I was like, and then it kind of clicked when they started showing. I'm like, oh yeah, they're supposed to show it off in E3.
Grim Fandango was pretty big.
That's a huge announcement.
That was a big announcement, and it was well done.
Mm-hmm.
I like the little 12-year-old and 10-year-old. Like, wait a minute.
Yeah. The if people don't know, that's regarded as one of the best games ever made. If you look up like even top 10 games, it's at least top 10 PC games. It's in there because it was only released on PC.
which game is this?
Grim Fandango. It's like an adventure game.
Double Fine is... Are
Yeah.
they working on it, or they're working on it with another company? Because I think that's what it is.
I don't think they're working on it exclusively. They might be partnering with
Yeah.
Sony to maybe bring it here, but. And then the Uncharted 4 teaser at the end.
Oh
like,
man,
I was expecting a CG trailer, but the fact that I actually got.
in game.
I mean, it wasn't gameplay, but it was an in-game. Like we got to see what it looks like,
yeah,
and holy
Oh,
fuck, does it look good!
man.
I can't believe it.
Sploosh.
Yeah,
I liked all the sounds. It's like, what kind of? Because we were kind of teased. Like, is it going to be the Last Guardian with all
Yeah.
the shit was going on before then, like the day before,
Yeah.
with it being
Still no.
officially canceled,
yeah.
but not officially canceled?
And still not talked about Last Guardian.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I think The Last Guardian, they just showed it off too early.
Yeah.
So, we could see it at Gamescom, TGS.
We'll see. They'll
think-
show it off when they're ready.
I honestly still don't think we'll see it this year.
No,
No,
maybe
of
not.
course not.
I think they probably shifted. If they, we could assume by now they moved it to PS4.
Or
There's no way that's a PS4.
It's coming out for
game.
PSP.
and it'll be on maybe next E3.
Yeah, I'm guessing they probably shifted it. It was announced in 2009. They would have shifted it probably no later than 2011 or 2012.
Yeah.
But if they started rebuilding it from ground up, it still might only be 2 years into development. So it could still be a little while before we see it.
Exactly. But yeah, with that tease, we had no idea going into this Uncharted trailer what it was going to be.
Yeah. Back in the jungle.
Yeah,
All the
and a Thief's
silence.
End, we got the title.
Yeah.
Oh,
So does it mean he retires? Does it mean he dies? Does it mean Sully
He
dies?
retires at the end of every single game.
Yeah, I
yeah, it's
know.
like, this is it for me.
I'm out. And then, like, do the next game. I'm
More treasure.
Send me in, coach.
I just love the line, too. He's like, one more time?
One more time. One
more
last time. Yeah. Oh, so
Oh,
good.
so good.
Spoilers.
But
Go play Uncharted.
I was just going to say, like, the silence before you see Naughty Dog, and then you see it, you can hear everybody
Yeah.
just going nuts over it.
Yeah.
It was a good one.
That was just so exciting.
The reactions, because they had it in theaters, I guess the reactions in theaters were pretty crazy too. Like people just lost their shit
Oh,
when they saw
really?
the Naughty Dog logo.
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness,
That'd be
that'd have been awesome to be there. Like, oh shit!
In fact,
People freaking out.
That whole lull thing with Powers probably made that better because
They were like,
everyone
"Why?"
was so like, "Oh, is this over yet?" And then they saw that and they're like,
But then what did they bring out first? They bring out The Last of Us remastered. Then they pumped out
GTA, then Batman, Mortal Kombat game.
Oh yeah, Mortal Kombat was
That's
first,
right, yeah.
and then yeah.
They also had the Destiny, and that's how Destiny was announced for the alpha at that conference.
Yeah, Destiny
Yeah.
was like at the very beginning of the
Yeah.
conference though.
That was a good start, though.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes,
think-
Brendan.
That was pretty big too. Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I've been reading impressions online, and prior to that, like, people were looking forward to Destiny, but the fact that nobody really knew what the game was, myself included, left a lot of people kind of on
Skeptical, yeah.
Like, they just, like, what is it? It's a first-person shooter, but, like, is it an MMO? Is it, like...
Well, I think
like-
that's what they're aiming for. Like, it's going to be a first-person MMO.
Yeah, but people just weren't like, is it like an MMO, like another one where you have thousands of people kind of sharing the same... And I think now we got a good glimpse at it's kind of this more limited, like, you join up with friends and...
First of its kind, right? So...
I don't know.
Yeah, like you were saying, the first impressions, I read a lot too. People like didn't put it down over the weekend. I know I didn't.
Yeah.
Brendan and I played like 9 hours on Friday. I got home from work and I was like, I'm gonna start. And then like Brendan got home from work, sent me a text, "Are you playing?" I'm like, yep. And then he goes out, does something.
Yeah.
4 hours later, he texts me, "Are you still playing?" I'm like, yep.
Yeah, and, a lot of people were like that. I read they did a poll as well in one of the threads, and like it was just, you asked people to rate how excited they were before the alpha and how excited or how likely they are to buy it now. And everything before was like, you know, what was your hype level? It was like 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. And now it's just everyone is like 10 out of 10. They're like instant, like this is day one for me because of the alpha. So it was really smart.
Yeah. And I think you started noticing that with a couple companies, and I think we'll see it a bit more later on, where they will announce, hey, by the way, sign up for the beta right now, or sign up for the alpha right now. Because Bungie was not the only one to do that at the conference, which we'll get into when we get into third party. But I think it's nice that you could be like, hey, do you want to play what we're going to show you? Do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely very cool. Not only that, from the people who played the alpha, it was actually a nice, polished experience, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. Me personally, from hearing, from being a PC gamer now, I hear alpha and I hear beta, and my expectations are very low.
Well, after that Battlefield 4 alpha that went on, it's still going on, right?
Well, it was just like, that's a beta. So Hardline's a beta.
No, I said Battlefield 4.
Oh, okay,
the alpha's still going.
Oh, okay. Good joke.
You see what you did there?
But I was going to say, you made a really nice comment about the Hardline beta being like, well, yeah, we played it and we enjoy it, but the alpha for Destiny is much more polished than the beta for Hardline.
Well, there's no content in Hardline. There's 2 maps, 2 game modes. That's it.
And so it was kind of very interesting to see what they call an alpha, what they call a beta. So it was a nice comment, and I just wanted to say it again.
And I was surprised. Well, yeah, we'll leave that for third party, I guess.
And then what else from the PS4?
That right after Destiny with the announcement of Alpha, that they showed off, I think was, I don't know, but they showed off a Little Big Planet after that trailer.
That's right, yeah, Little Big Planet.
And it was really a nice touch to see live people actually playing games, and it's not scripted dialogue.
I was going to say I like that. Like you could hear laughs because they were actually screwing up.
Yeah, everyone was. It was just like watching friends play, and everyone just enjoying that experience and having fun and laughing while they were watching these people play.
We were making fun of those really scripted because that panel we were watching made fun of it. But yeah, it's like they showed a trailer for Rainbow Six, and the people you can hear like the people or the Division, and people are like voice chatting, and they're like, "You got enemies on your 6. Gotcha, I got your flank, man. Watch by on the right."
Yeah. Well,
but then really what people are saying when they're playing multiplayer games is like, "Oh, did you watch Game of Thrones last night?"
Or like when we were playing GTA Golf, we were talking about the Masters. I think that's what
aired.
Yeah, we just talked about the Masters the entire time.
So yeah, no, I agree with John. It was a very human gameplay demo.
And it felt more enjoyable to watch too.
Yeah.
To see it in action. So.
Watching them struggle to jump up a wall.
Yeah.
Or just to coordinate with each other. So. No Man's Sky.
Oh, yes. How do we forget that? That was actually the
big one.
That won Game of the Show, I think.
Yeah.
Really?
Well, it won every time that's
Game
played,
of the year.
It's like the gaming universe's jaws just collectively drop.
Yeah.
Happened at the VGX, was that what it was called? Yeah, VGX.
Yeah.
And that stole that show.
That wasn't hard.
I actively liked watching the Twitter and all that stuff. But this comes out and it's like, by the way, first on PS4, which I was like,
Yeah.
and it just looked amazing. So I'm excited, and I think. Excuse me. Wow,
Sorry.
that was gross.
Sean just threw up a little bit.
He's just so excited.
No man's square.
But what I want to do is I want like us to start the game because it's all like you're on a random planet. It's all procedural.
Everyone starts on a random different
and
planet.
a different planet. So like I want to go out and find at least one of you and be like, oh,
Yeah.
that would be like the awesome one where like you just
The-
find someone you know and it's like
I look up in the sky and I see a ship barreling towards me. And it's John. He's like, watch out! And then it just crashes into a cliff and explodes.
Game over.
but like that blows my mind that's like an amazing game and it's made literally by 4 people. I
Yeah.
am like this 4 people.
Is it? I thought it was 6. Is it 4?
It's 4.
Yeah, that's insane.
Wow.
12, no, as they said, they have a total of 12 people working on it.
Oh, okay. So
okay.
They probably brought in some additional people. I mean, yeah.
Well, their
Seems like
studio
a
got
massive-
flooded, I think, last year. Or no,
Because he
this
was
year.
saying, he was working
Yeah.
in his
But
house.
the 4 people probably. I mean, the game's basically built now. Like they have
Oh,
the
yeah.
engine and gameplay. So the extra people they bring in are probably like QA testers and
Refining.
we're refining stuff. Yeah,
I'm so excited.
yeah, man.
It's just a cool story and like you say, it started with so few.
We're losing you, buddy.
That period. I mean, you hear of all these big gaming companies, hundreds of people.
We're losing you, Brendan.
We're
You're
losing.
cutting out.
Brendan's cutting out a bit. We apologize on the podcast.
Yeah.
No Skype. You're supposed to be foolproof.
I think what Brendan was saying was it's very interesting to see such a small team make a huge impression compared to the teams that are like 100 people working on the same game. Was that what you were going for?
Yeah, exactly. It just makes for such a cool story because you don't hear about that a lot anymore.
Yeah.
All these games like Assassin's Creed Unity or Halo or Uncharted, like you can just imagine all the shit that goes into those games. And you see this game, you're like, holy fuck, this game looks cool. And then it's basically like, yeah, it's just a group of 4 of us making this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's a cool thing in the gaming industry.
I think that's the nice thing about indie games is because first of all, they're a small team, so you only need 4 people to agree on something rather than 40 people to agree on it.
Yeah.
And secondly, they're an indie team, like they don't have a publisher to answer to. Because EA will have a say in any game that someone develops a game for EA will make, but indie devs can take a lot more risks and do a lot more experimental stuff. They don't need to worry about shareholders or, they don't need to worry about risk of changing a game franchise. They can basically do whatever the fuck they want with, no risk as long as it ends up in a good game.
Yeah.
I agree. If you're talking, Brendan, we can't hear you there.
I didn't say anything, actually.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
We just had a bit of feedback then.
Sounded
Yeah.
like your dryer.
But yeah, I guess in the interest of time, we should just move on to Nintendo.
What the fuck was up with that conference? Or that
I
digital
don't know.
event?
I just want to say, I'm going to throw this out there. I don't agree with it. A lot of people loved Nintendo's conference.
I know, I've been looking
On the polls, they won. Like, people like that the best.
I don't
Whole
understand.
other gaming sites. I was like, because I was like, I want to see if I'm getting the same reactions, but everybody's like,
like, Nintendo
loved
won
it.
E3, they killed it.
Yeah, they even rated Microsoft. I can understand Sony, but because of the little lull,
Yeah.
but they rated Microsoft like 3 out of 10. I'm like, what?
Like in a conference, like in that little event, this is maybe not true like 100%, but 1 minute on a great looking Zelda game,
Yeah.
40 minutes on a first person oil Splatoon?
Splatoon.
It was third person.
Third person.
Third person? I thought it was
I don't
first
know.
person.
I thought it was third person.
I don't know.
But it's just like
Well, you're exaggerating, obviously.
I'm exaggerating
Their
because
entire event was 40 minutes.
okay, so it was almost 1 minute
Yeah.
for Zelda, and then most of that conference was Splatoon.
And then Star Fox, like, what the fuck
They
was
had
that?
Star Fox,
And they didn't show it,
had
though.
Mario Party.
Yeah.
They announced like, oh yeah, Miyamoto's working on 3 games. But we're not going to talk about that.
You wouldn't
here.
care about Star Fox.
You wouldn't care about Star Fox or the other stuff. Brendan's iPad just kind of went out.
Low battery.
Oh, that.
Oh, that's mine.
Dismiss.
But it's like when you have like Miyamoto's working on 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that.
Yeah.
Talk about how he's making the gamepad relevant. And then I just don't care about Splatoon. If I want a third person shooter, I'll go play Last of Us.
Well, I don't think that's a fair comparison because they're totally.
It doesn't look like a game that.
Okay.
No,
I thought it looked cool.
It didn't look
But
like.
the concept was neat.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool as well.
No, I just couldn't care for it, and I was so mad that it took up a lot of the conference.
Okay. It did take up a lot of time. I think it looks very cool. It's something that I'll wait on, but
Yeah.
I might actually be interested in. I need to know a bit more about it. And it's cool that they're doing something new, but I agree they didn't spend enough time on their bread and butter, I guess.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then there was a big rumor of a Metroid game. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was disappointed in that. So
Yeah, I mean, people were excited. I mean, they had Yoshi and Kirby, which are big franchises
Yeah.
for them, but those, like you guys know, I'm not a big Nintendo person. I never had any Nintendo system other than an N64. I don't give a shit about Kirby and Yoshi.
yeah,
That's just me. But people are excited about that.
I think it's more that the studio that did the Epic Yarn was doing something similar to Yoshi, and it looks beautiful.
Woolly Yarn.
Woolly Yarn. What it's called?
Woolly World?
Yeah, something like that. But it looks beautiful.
Oh, absolutely.
And that company's really good at doing that. So the company that or not the company, the research team or whatever Nintendo calls their first party teams. And it's really cool, but it's not my type of game. And Kirby, as long as they make another game like Kirby Superstar for the Super Nintendo, I mean, I'm set for Kirby. So
I just want to say, like, the way I would rate Nintendo, their press conference, is based on trailers and the games. That's what we're there for. We're looking for the announcements, the tidbits of the gameplay or the game itself, not to listen to the concepts or some bullshit. Like,
I tend to like that a bit.
Like,
No,
imagine
I
Zelda.
I like that stuff.
Now imagine Zelda, but Skyrim.
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
show us, especially when a game's... Like, we've been waiting for Zelda forever.
yeah.
Since that kind of tech demo.
Oh, exactly. But, no, I mean, like, I like that stuff, but throw that in DVD and label it as a documentary. I don't want to see that shit at a press conference.
So you hated E3's conference, I take.
Nintendo.
You mean
No, E3's.
EA's?
EA's, yeah.
Yeah, it was like the concepts were cool, like their ideas,
Okay.
but they show nothing. Like Mass Effect, I see some character model. I know they're making
And some of them were really rough, like the Mirror's Edge and the
that,
one that the guys behind Criterion is
Yeah.
on. Those were like, one of them was basically like mesh wire models that didn't even have textures.
Here's
I'm not
another
gonna
game.
lie, I kind of liked EA's conference.
no, it was good. Like I liked the games and the ideas.
Yeah.
I don't know what they could have done.
It was.
They could have been like, here's this, here, see your trailer.
I don't know. We always talk about how we have to see gameplay. We don't need a CG trailer. We don't need all that. So these guys, they're working on stuff.
Yeah.
They're doing stuff that might not look as interesting in a conference, but it's like, here, we are working on this and we're trying to get this to you guys as fast as we can. Look at what we're doing next. Not announcing something too soon with a trailer and then it's like gone.
I agree in a
see that.
sense.
So you see what I mean? That's why I kind of
But-
liked it. But I mean,
At the same time, it's kind of like you're showing an unfinished product. How do you sell a person on a game with an unfinished idea? It's like it's the same thing as your game breaking down in the middle of the conference,
fair enough.
but not.
No, I understand that.
Yeah.
You're trying to demo and sell a product and get people excited for it. I mean, this is a good way, but it's I don't know. It's not for me. But was that?
I'm just checking the battery on the iPad.
Oh, okay. No, but yeah, it's just those parts that were really slow. I didn't really care for the gameplay demos for Kirby Yarn and Yoshi was really exciting. Same with Bayonetta. They did that with Bayonetta again too, with concepts, right?
With Bayonetta?
Yeah.
I don't know. There's lots of
Yeah,
gameplay
it's-
videos out there, so I don't know why they wouldn't have shown one.
They had like some concept thing.
That was a big announcement. You get one Bayonetta 1
No, that
and
was
2.
a really good announcement. That was good. I really liked how they introduced Robot Chicken. That was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there was just a little bit. There was just not enough.
No.
And I don't know. It was just disappointing. You know?
Amiibo.
Ubisoft's conference was good.
Are we
Yeah.
moving to third party?
Well, we just talked about EA.
That was just because.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
because of
Pretty transition.
Brendan, what did you think?
Third party?
Oh, I guess we can move to third party.
Did you watch Nintendo's?
I didn't. Actually, I watched Nintendo digital conference. I definitely just wanted to see more Zelda.
Yeah. As did everyone.
Hey, the next one is going to be open world like Skyrim. It's kind of like, holy fuck, awesome. But like you say, so something. And now we're just all left with questions because there's all these rumors about is like going to be a girl that's floating. Is main character going to be a girl? Is the main character going to be linked? Like, there's all these questions about it. And yeah, so their conference was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing special. Splatoon, is that what I watched most of it. I was like, it's pretty cool what the ideas that they're doing, but it's a type of game that probably wouldn't be like their showcase. Like, I don't know why Legend of Zelda or something else isn't their showcase, but never is.
Yeah. I also want to say, they're trying to start a new trend with this digital conference. I got to say, it gives them no excuse not to put out a good, lengthy conference. Maybe, I guess 45 is a good length, or maybe an hour, but they had other announcements, like you guys said, Mario Party. I didn't even know that was announced.
Yeah, Mario Party
until
10.
like
I didn't
3
know that
days
either.
later. Yeah, Mario Party 10 or Star Fox or what else?
I think
was
with
there?
Star Fox, they should have had a nice, meaty trailer that people could dig into. I don't care if it's rough, but
I can't find anything out of it other than like a barely glimpsable
they didn't
video
show.
of him doing this with the gamepad.
That's all there is.
Yeah.
And-
So that's why it just rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't like that conference. So I'm surprised with the rankings of them being number one. So
Yeah, I want to speak to that too. Like, I think the reason might be is maybe these people only have a Wii U, so they're deprived of great games like we are. Many great games, more great games.
Wow.
Yeah.
So
Just games for
So in general, these new announcements of other games it is exciting. I
Yeah.
can see that.
Okay.
Like, oh yeah, new Kirby, yes, sweet, more games for the console, right?
Yeah.
They're not left high and dry. So I was kind of like that with my GameCube, waiting for a new game or a Wii as well. So
Well, we got 5 minutes to cover third party, so
Oh wow.
that's what I was trying to.
Oh shit. Okay, why don't we can go a bit.
We talked about EA.
Yeah, we pretty much covered EA. We could just the only one left really is Ubisoft.
No, I was just gonna say we can like cut and then do another. If you guys
We can polish it off.
We can polish it.
Yeah.
So EA
Okay.
is mixed. I thought the one good thing was the Hardline beta
Yeah.
announcement. That was really cool. I think we're all good with that.
Yep.
Yeah, that was it for that
Perfect.
conference.
Konami announced or showed some awesome footage of Phantom Pain.
Well, they had the trailer. They haven't shown any gameplay
they weren't really
yet.
there.
That's
Oh, yeah, I
tonight.
forgot
That's
that was
tonight,
that was
actually.
another thing they had at Sony conference. But,
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
So everyone's excited for that.
Yeah.
They didn't really announce anything else. Contra is still out there, even though they announced it 2 years ago.
Were
Yeah.
they at the conference this year?
No.
No.
No, they just showed some trailers.
Yeah. And then
And then
Ubisoft
had a decent conference.
Yeah, there was like that one title that was like, meh, the Down Central.
Yeah.
It was really weird.
I think that's just grasping on something that used to be really big,
Yeah.
and now they're kind of stuck in it, so they have to keep making them. Or not have to.
I
That's
think
a
it's
bad way of
still
putting
pretty
it.
popular.
It's still
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's just at that conference you don't want to kind of see that stuff.
Yeah. The choreographed dances.
The
Usher.
Assassin's Creed Unity.
That looks okay. I have been off the AC bandwagon for quite some time. I do know the story because I was really interested in the stories. But I'm probably going to get Unity. And I don't know what else to say. It looks amazing. It's at a great time in history. So sign me up.
It definitely looks really good. The co-op stuff is really cool.
That's my big thing. I've been on a weird multiplayer co-op binging thing. So to hear that and be like, hey, Assassin's Creed, let's do it.
I definitely like that idea, but it didn't really...
It still looks like
Feeling
Assassin's Creed, right?
It didn't really change the game.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's selling so well, they don't really...
Oh,
no,
I know. Yeah.
exactly. It's one of their main staples. I mean,
Yeah.
for me, if I'm looking for something new and different, I probably want to stay away from that.
Fair enough. Drive Club, still looking good.
Yep, they're
Did they show that
adding...
off?
Not at E3.
No.
They had it on the stage floor, but they didn't have it at the press conference.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, does that look good. And some of the stuff I'm reading on... They had the 51 facts on the PlayStation blog.
Yeah.
And then what they're talking about now, they have a weather system that's going to be added shortly after release because they don't want to delay the game anymore.
Yeah.
But holy fuck, the weather, all the clouds are dynamic, and as the sun rises, if you set it to go from night to day, as the sun hits the track, it will actually dynamically melt the snow and kind of change the way that it drives. And
Oh, wow.
That's
because the thing with racing games is a racing game's a racing game. Like once, you know what I mean? Like when you go from generation to generation.
Yeah.
I mean, the way a car drives, you don't need a lot of power to make a racing game.
Yeah.
You can make it look like Mario Kart on N64. And
So good.
so, yeah, when people might say, well, I don't need the snow on the side of a mountain that's like 50 miles away melting in my racing game. But it's little details like that are going to make the difference this generation with things like that. Because your driving's, it's going to reach a point where it's a driving game.
That's it. Yeah.
So it's going to be little more like graphical effects, I guess, like that.
Exactly.
The Division still looks decent.
It was good that they showed that single player trailer because I had no idea what the game was about aside from that.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of a Last of Us vibe. I think I might have a tough time living under that shadow.
I think it's a little bit different from that.
Oh, it's different.
Yeah.
I mean, post-apocalyptic,
Yeah.
And
humans
then this
versus
one's
humans.
all multiplayer co-op or not co-op, whatever you want, whatever your play type is. That snow physics,
Yeah,
they look good.
they do.
So that's still looking great. What else did they do? Oh yeah, Rainbow Six.
Yep.
That was amazing.
It was not a great trailer.
Really? I thought it was really good.
I think because they were trying to make it sound like it was like a live match.
Oh, yeah, they did that pre-scripted.
Yeah.
model.
Yeah, we
Totally
were making fun of
pre-scripted,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it was still nice that they brought back some of the older stuff from the old Rainbow Six games, the games I played. And
And those destructible walls.
I know. So
Yeah,
it
that
looks
was nuts.
amazing. So if they can keep that quality up,
Yeah.
you have my money.
Oh, we didn't talk about one big game.
Oh.
Far Cry?
The
Far Cry.
No, I was gonna say.
Oh, we missed Bloodborne entirely.
No, well, yeah, but no, I was gonna say Brendan and you might like this a bit. The new golf game with Levolution.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The golf club.
Yeah, that was the
That
PC
was
game that you
nuts.
own, right,
No.
Brendan?
Brendan's talking about
Yeah.
a different one.
Oh,
So they announced it for PS4 and Xbox One, or just PS4?
The Golf Club?
Yeah.
It was announced for both, but that was announced earlier this year. We're talking about the new PGA.
Oh, no.
with
Right.
Levolution,
Right.
Yeah.
which is
But that's what John was
ridiculous.
talking about.
Yeah,
Sorry.
No, that's all
I
right.
forgot. Actually, because I didn't see the trailer, so I had to look it up afterwards. Yeah, it was quite funny.
it was
Because it came on and they were talking about, like, it was using the Frostbite engine, and John's like, what? Are they going to put evolution in golf? And then it showed the ship crash into the course. Like, well, they showed me.
So we missed a couple games. Far Cry 4.
yeah.
Huge thing with the co-op. You
I'm
don't need
excited for
another
that.
player.
You can just
Or don't
drop
need
in.
another disc. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I had it in my head and now I lost it. Dead Island 2. That
That was a good
trailer
trailer.
was
Yeah.
one of my favorite trailers of all.
It was
history.
amazing.
It's like a complete 180 from their original trailer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's that thing. Ubisoft didn't have much else other than that. It's been a week. I haven't watched them since. So Alicia Tyler still looks amazing.
Yeah.
I think that was it for Ubisoft.
I was going to say quickly that they had this fitness game, which I thought was going to be lame as other fitness games, but it looked really fun. So
if you like that kind
I
of
might
the push-ups on
look
the
into
stage where they're like getting bigger stuff on
it just
their
looked
back.
hilarious. Yeah.
Well, I mean, other than that, I think E3 was a great conference. I'm excited to see the other conferences that are going on. TGS is
I think
say a couple
Gamescom.
months, right? Gamescom in August usually.
Yeah, and then TGS is usually in October. Around there.
Actually, sorry, we missed one that I wanted to talk about. It wasn't at any of the press conferences, but Bethesda released a teaser for the new Doom,
I thought you were going to say Fallout.
and it was really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Oh wait,
and
I
loved
did
it,
see that.
but it was just CGI.
Oh,
so
yeah. I didn't see much.
I don't have much faith for that game because the team at it. Someone's phone go off.
No, that was Brendan.
Oh, okay. The
My bad.
okay, the team at id. There's very few people there, I think, left from even Doom 3, let alone Doom 1 and 2.
Yeah.
So I don't have a lot of hope that that's going to end up living up to the Doom legacy.
Maybe it'll get a fresh new set of legs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the series does need a bit of a refreshment. I don't know. Doom's a hard thing to nail because it has it is a shooter at its heart, and that's Doom 3 kind of went the more horror route, which some people liked. I actually think Doom 3 is a great game.
Doom 3 had the best. It's still almost on par with some of the best lighting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you take the lighting away, that game looks horrible.
Oh yeah, the polygon count for some of those models is terrible.
Yeah. So I mean, if they could just do something amazing with new hardware and new physics like that, I think it could be a great game.
I hope so. So I'm signed up for the beta. So we'll see. That's what I wanted to talk about.
Okay.
My Doom love.
Your doomed love.
Yeah.
Anyways, this has been the J14 Gamecast post E3 / episode 9. We are all gonna have 3 episodes back to back on Sunday. We've been sick and going outside and loving life. We're trying to get back on a regular track.
Although Brandon's just getting sick. So.
Yeah, Brandon's getting sick, so I don't know what he'll do.
Don't worry, I'll tough it out. I'm not a bitch like you guys, so.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Fair enough.
You'll soon regret
Podcast.
You could find us at a bunch of places. J14gaming.com.
Oh, really?
At Twitter.
Tell me more.
Twitter at J14 Gaming. Twitch, you can find us, or just search J14 Gaming. YouTube, you can search at J14 Gaming. I'm missing stuff. I already know I'm missing stuff.
You can look us up at our website, j14.com.
I think I said that. But,
Yeah.
I just, ingrain it in your
if you like
folks'
the
brain.
audio version of the podcasts, definitely search J14 Gaming or J14 Gamecast.
Yeah, on iTunes. And subscribe.
And subscribe. On YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. Other than that, thank you for listening. And this has been the J14 Gamecast, where we bring the party to you.